They started late. He's been asked, what's going on with Luke Hughes? Now, listen to this bullshit, wind around, dance around answer. Watch the facial expressions of both of them, depending on who's talking. When Keith gets a question, you can see Fitz get very nervous about what Keith's going to respond with, because he gets questions that you can tell he's deflecting from the answer, from the real answer, because his boss is next to him. But listen to this blabber of bullshit about Luke Hughes. This guy needs to be in training camp, and if a real GM was sitting there, he would have said, "We need our players at training camp, and if they're willing to sit on their couch and play text message games with me and their agent, then maybe it's better off we trade them." And then, of course, I'm sorry, I'm saying this, I have some views on the Devils and their roster that people don't agree with and they don't like, but you're going to hear them. And you know what? Think about this. Luke Hughes does not want to be the shadow on the Devils. The shadow meaning Jack Hughes is the Hughes that people immediately think of when they hear the Devils. Now, Luke Hughes does not want to be in the shadow of his brother, especially because he's a defenseman. He's not in the same position. This isn't a Sedin Twins where they play the same line. They've been playing like that together forever. This is a situation where when Jack and Luke happen to be on the ice, they put blinders on and can only see themselves. So on the ice, I see it as a little bit of an issue. I feel like they would be contributing even more than they already do. Not saying they don't contribute, because they do very well, but they would be at a higher level if they didn't have a sibling on the ice. That gives you nerves. That gives you, I don't know the words to explain it, but if my brother was on my team, which that's happened in the past, some hockey team, not professional, of course not at the NHL, but when my brother was on my team and I'm a defenseman and he is a forward, we would always want to play like we would play in the street together. And like the other guys were like, hey guys, like, you know, I was wide open. And we see this with the Devils when Jack and Luke get together. They fumble. They start falling because all they could do is look for each other. It's not right. Now, tell me in the comments what you think of this. I'm going to use an example, just a good example of a team. Utah Mammoth, okay? The Utah Mammoth. Let's say the Devils make a trade with the Utah Mammoth. They send Luke Hughes over to Utah, bring in whatever, it doesn't matter. This is a hypothetical situation. Luke Hughes now is the king in Utah. If Luke Hughes leaves the Devils, goes to a team where there's no other Hughes on the team, he becomes the king of that team. He will become the king of the state. He will become the face of hockey in Utah if Utah was the team. And I think that's a great team for him to be moved to. And I think they have great prospects and great players that we could get back in return. The Devils have Luke Hughes, Seamus Casey, Saleya.